Hey, I'm a blackjack expert, okay? I'm gonna give you an example of how casinos could cheat if they wanted to. I just wanted to put this video out there because I feel like there's been a lot of like, could they, couldn't they, and there's been videos about could they cheat. And this video, I'm gonna give a quick representation of how they could do it. So first of all, the shuffling machines can put the cards in order from ace to king, right? That's one. Now all they would have to do from that point is do a card clump, okay? They could clump the cards, and once they clump the cards, right, they would just clump them so that they're around even, right? So no one's the wiser, right? You know, they could just put in an average up or down of a low count, so that way it's just remains even, so which that would net the house to win, right? And that would just be card clumping. It's actually really simple, and it's actually kind of impossible too. It's really hard to catch them if they're doing this, because first of all, you'd have to prove it. And how the hell are you gonna prove that they clumped the cards like that? Well, you know, when you're messing around with catching like poker cheats, most poker cheats, they get caught because they win too much, right? They won too much, their play was too perfect. Well, it's kind of the same thing with card clumping, right? Because it's not really possible to play through 100 sessions and not go over, you know, X amount of count, or go below X amount of count. If you play 100 sessions at a casino and you're not seeing, you know, a count over a true 3, you're being cheated 100%, right? Because it's not possible to play through 100 shoes and not see a count of over a true 3. So that is how they could cheat you, right? And just to elaborate too, you know, when these cards are clumped and they're mixed, no one would know the wiser, because the cards are going to look like they're completely random, right? And if a player does or doesn't do something, does hit a 16, doesn't hit a 16, you got drunk people at the table, they're splitting face cards, they're doing whatever, none of that's going to affect the cards being clumped and you still having that certain average to win or lose. And in addition to that as well, the side bets, I don't want to get too big into side bets, but it's the exact same thing with them too. Some people wonder sometimes, how come side bets are hitting sometimes and how come they're not? Well, they could be clumping the cards, as simple as that. If you think about it, and so the side bet, I'm going to actually refer to 21 plus 3 here. That's with the 9 to 1, the flush, your 2 cards, the dealer's up card, and the straights, and the 3 of a kinds, and the long shots that go with them. Just hear me out for a second. So, in order to get an advantage in that game, right, you're going to want suits to be missing, right? When you really want to bet on that side bet, when you really got an advantage, that's when there's been a bunch of hearts or a bunch of clubs that have come out and it's loaded with a suit or 2, right? That's when it's really profitable. So all the casino would have to do is clump the suits, let's say, clump the suits. That way they're more or less distributed evenly. Sure, they're even. Someone can still hit them here and there, right? But what they're going to do is they're going to ensure that there's not going to be a high count of suits, right? So that way it doesn't go. And I'm not saying all casinos do this, and I'm not saying nothing like that. All I'm saying is this card clumping method is something that they could do to cheat. That's all I'm saying.